and gentlemen, welcome to another fantastic match of Starcraft 2. Spawning in the bottom right of the map, we have our Zerg players. We have Lord Organum. Fantastic player, Lord Organum. Spawning in the top left of the map, playing with the blue Terran workers. He is Lord Tomicron. Welcome everybody, I'm very excited Artosis for this match because I hear these two players are very well matched against each other, so we can expect a banger of a clown fiesta of a game this time around. Alright, Starcraft 2, beautiful game, many commands, many options. These players really have to do a lot of tasks, so they have to issue commands to build workers or to build buildings, and then they have to spend all the money they gather instantly to not be overrun by the opponent. So, and they have to even decide what to spend the money on. Decide to spend more on production, more on economy, more on army, more on tech. Very, very many options. A little bit difficult game, but if you can master it sufficiently, it yields a lot of satisfactions. See this beautiful space bug that looks around for enemy units. Also this other space bug looks around. We have Lord Tomicron in the meanwhile going for the standard 18 scout with his worker. So Lord Tomicron sending a worker to the other side of the map to check what's up in Organum's mind. So what's up is being economical, aggressive. Tomicron wants to have a good heads up about that. Let's see what info Tomicron can get. In the meanwhile, second base going down for the Terran player, second base going down for the Zerg player. And immediately an aggressive move by Lord Organum, very early, and Tomicron scouts that, so now Tomicron knows that the 6 dangerous Zerglings are heading relentlessly across the map to harass Lord Tomicron. Alright, so Organum opted for a very aggressive build, an early pull for early links, delaying a bit the second base, delaying a bit the economy. So usually it's not that difficult to respond to answer to that, but Tomicron is leaping, so the Reaper doesn't move. Oh, Organum, a lot of damage on the Reaper already. The Marine dies, the Reaper. Let's see. Oh no, the Reaper is scored. Organum, no, big mistake by Lord Tomicron, losing the Reaper directly, and now loses another SCV. And Organum now is free to actually harass the second base. Tomicron cancels the second base directly, a little bit maybe an early cancel. Organum smartly targets the reactor that cannot be repaired by Tomicron, and now Organum doing a lot of damage already. Organum is in. He breaks the walls of Tomicron. Workers fighting. Tomicron has no units in this moment. One Marine in production, one Alien in production. A lot of early game damage also in mining time, because remember, the workers fighting are not mining. So Organum finding a lot of damage for a very naive answer by Lord Tomicron. More Zerglings streaming to kill another Marine. Lot of resources and units lost. The Hellion will finally come out for Tomicron to save the days, but not before 2 other workers go down. Very, very difficult stuff for Lord Tomicron. 2 workers go down. The Hellion will kite back to death these Zerglings. Let's see. And the last Zergling should fall now. So Tomicron is rebuilding the reactor, but what a damage. Tomicron, 2 bases going down at the same time because his brain cells are exactly 2, so 2 are the bases, plus 1 starport, another regular in production, but Organum is up 8 workers already, so, and third base also in construction. The second base of Organum is finished, morphed into a lair, and already has a lot of workers, while Tomicron is mining nothing for its second base. Very, very dire situation for Lord Tomicron. Very, very naive answer, honestly, for a player of the caliber of Lord Tomicron. This kind of mistakes should not be expected, but let's see if our boy can make a comeback, or whether Organum will manage to swarm Tomicron over. Queen's moving to secure more creep. Remember that Zerg race has vision over creep. The creep expands. The queens inject the archery for more and more larvas, which means more units. Production tab. Lord Organum, wow, with a lot of Zerglings, weirdly. Honestly, I would expect a Roach Warren as well. Honestly, I wouldn't mind also more drones, because let's see, let's go to Organum Vision. Now, Organum knows of two bases, so Organum knows there is no an imminent attack from Lord Tomicron, so I wouldn't actually mind if Organum would actually drone. But in the meanwhile, we have some harassment going on. So the Hellions for Lord Tomicron coming over, but Organum is very well defended by these four queens. Tomicron tries the aggressive rotation of the aliens, but Organum scouts with the Overlord, so Organum should know, and in fact some maybe Zerglings are already in position to defend any potential jeep. Tomicron checks the fourth base, no fourth base yet. Tomicron cannot find any sort of damage because now the queens are in position, retreating back in a scouting position, and a Spire, a lot of tech going down for Organum, Roach Warren and Spire, plus the Lair. What is this? Yeah, the Spire, and plus the Baneling. So a little bit of everything and all around. Let's see, Organum producing not much really, flooding a fair amount of money to be honest, but still ahead 8 workers, while Tomicron is setting up a wall to defend its natural base from anything. Tomicron, like a baboon, clustering a bit his workers, because yeah, if you are behind, why not going more behind? And Organum with a brilliant scouts whatever Tomicron is doing. He scouts, Tomicron didn't cancel the bases, so still 3 bases. But still no tech for Lord Tomicron. Now Tomicron is lifting now the barracks. Organum, very nice catch, comes back, and Organum gets a very important scout, confirming that Tomicron is placing the factories and therefore going mech. Now Tomicron, oh, we missed an harassment opportunity from Tomicron. Doesn't find any significant damage because the queens on Organum were perfectly in position. 8 more drones in production, 1 base, and Organum actually makes the right call in this situation. So 2 more bases going down instantly. Tomicron, Organum thinks you just now are placing your extra production, so I can eco up a lot now, because you are not going to have significant units for a lot of time, dear Tomicron. And that's indeed true. Very nice read by Organum, placing the 4th and the 5th base, droning up. I wouldn't mind actually some drones, because 57 drones are not enough to face a mech player. I would like, instead of queens, instead of corruptors, more drones at this point in time, but who am I to judge Lord Organum, while Tomicron is extremely late in placing the 3rd base, while Organum is very much saturated and defended on his own 3rd base, and already establishing the 4th and 5th, almost finished. Big economy lead, we see more drones by Organum indeed. Big economy lead from Lord Organum, and Tomicron now scrambling to research more upgrades and to produce some units. Even some mammalisks in production, the flying bugs, which are a good idea, because at the moment Tomicron doesn't have this much of an answer to flying bugs, honestly. Yes, now in fact Tomicron is producing the Taurs, the perfect counter to the Mamas. Alright, let's see. Tomicron tries to saturate his 3rd base to match the economy of the Zerg, little bit, and Tomicron slowly but surely is increasing the worker count, but Organum, with this beautiful 84 workers from the Zerg, that I love so much, even other drones in production. The Zerg is almost 20 workers ahead, very solid economical advantage for the Zerg, even the infestation pit to research the hive and to go forward in the upgrades. So Organum making a move with his Mammaling Bane Corruptor army, but in the meanwhile some harassment from Lord Tomicron, trying to harass the 5th base, doesn't find any damage. The jeeps from Tomicron find some Zerglings over there, harass a queen. The Banes will clean the jeeps, and the Organum from the sky with the Mamas will very easily clean up the harassing jeeps from Lord Tomicron. Oh, Tomicron is very much behind in resources lost tab, and Organum is saying, alright, my drones are enough, let me move to your side of the map and see how much damage I can find. 2 mamas in production for Organum, but the Thor is in position, so the flying bugs don't get any damage. Turret's in position as well. Organum, we target an extractor to be annoying with the gas mining for Lord Tomicron, but Thor's in position also here. Tomicron successfully splits the Thors, 2 here and 1 here, so no angle to be found for Lord Organum with the mamas. Okay. In the meanwhile, Tomicron is behind only 10 workers, but Organum taking the 6th base already, setting up a bit of an engagement for the road chase to try to be annoying in the 3rd base of Lord Tomicron. Honestly, I wouldn't mind some more attack upgrades for the Zerg. The mamas flying at the corner, Tomicron setting up the defense, the tanks are siege, the Thors are ready. Engagement. So, will Organum engage? Bailing's morphing to maybe breach the walls of depots on Tomicron. In the meanwhile, 6th base for the Zerg, the 5th base saturated as well as the 4th. A lot of economy from Organum. And now the Banes, running forward in the wall. They get a top shot, but they successfully breach the wall, and now Organum can strain with the rest of the army because the wall is breached. The Thors, what a clown fiesta here! The Thors dying. The engagement and the tanks shelling away, close to each other. In the end, with his reinforcement, managed to secure the base again. A little bit of resources lost for Organum, but it's okay to lose resources as Zerg because Zerg has more economy. Organum is not done. More Banelings morphing, which is a move that I like. So, Ravager Ling Bane is actually very strong against mech because Ravager Ling Bane, Tomicron should rebuild the wall, by the way. Organum with aggressive rotation, try to come from this angle, but too many Thors, too many tanks. So, Tomicron on the defensive, starting now the 4th base. Organum morphing more Ravagers and more Banes and trying another angle. Tomicron will get into this defensive position, which defends the east-south side of the map, with a Raven to spot for cloaked units, building his 5th base finally. Tomicron, in the meanwhile, has crawled back in economy. So only Tomicron doesn't move out, but gets flanked. What a baboon! Flanked by the Zerg! Lord Organum with a very, very nice engagement. Traps the army of the Terra, tanks the jab, frontal engagement, the Thors go down, the Ravens, some turrets, the tanks are bite down by the Ravagers, but the tanks also shell the Ravagers, and Tomicron with some reinforcement will clean up this fight as well, but both players now need to go back to their base to clean up the wounds. Very, very beautiful flank from Lord Organum. Getting even trades and even, wow, expanding at a very, very nice rate. Look at this, new base on the side of Terran. So the Zerg is now taking all its bases, very nice move, and also 1 fresh base on Tomicron's side. So if the Zerg mines out all its bases, then he will have for sure more money than the Terran. And now what the Zerg needs to do is just to Lingbane Ravager on many different angles to get different efficient, to get even trades really. And when or even 2-to-1 trades are fine because the Zerg has just more economy, right? With workers, another trade. So, alright, now very beautiful trade, but Organum stays too much under the siege line, the tank line of Tomicron, and yeah, maybe should have retreated a bit sooner to get a better trade, but the approach is still trading very good against the Ravens. No, get away from here, The tanks are still positioned, the Zerglings can trade efficiently against the tanks, the Ravagers try to buy down the tanks successfully actually. In the end, Tomicron has to call the reinforcement again. What a slugfest this game is. Very, very even trades, or enough cost efficient for the Zerg. The Zerg is behind only by 4,000 resources, so nice trades also by the Zerg, stealing a base and mining from a lot more bases in this moment. So very nice eco advantage. I wouldn't mind some more upgrades from the Zerg. I wouldn't mind also some more drones, because now the Terran has actually more workers. So the Terran now can even outmine the Zerg. Organum has to be careful. so should be go to 90 or 100 drones while trading efficiently. Some jeeps for harassment from Tomicron will easily get defeated by the faster mamas in the sky. The mamas will kill the Hellions on Lord Tomicron. The Hellion trying to kill some drones, but without much success. In the meanwhile, Tomicron setting up the army, a planetary fortress to defend the position. Alright, income actually in favor of Lord Tomicron in this moment. So Tomicron is now mining more than the opponent. The Zerg has to be careful, maybe relocate some of the drones to the fresh bases to mine more than the Terran. 2-2 upgrades for Lord Tomicron, 0-0 upgrades, 0-0 upgrades on Terran and on air for the Zerg player. Organum with another move, trying to coming from a lot of angles to this angle over here, but there are too many Thors and the Mutas are really not useful at this point in time. So maybe Viper Lurker or maybe Ravager Bane, a better composition in these situations, but Organum is now at the bottom. Indeed morphing a lot of Banelings for a lot of damage, but Tomicron finds the army, finds the base, the Thors, shred the Mamas, shred their units, the Banelings cannot really engage. Oh, Organum doesn't engage and runs away with the unupgraded Banelings, so Tomicron gets a very nice trade and cleans the base. Fantastic trade from Lord Tomicron, and Organum is all of a sudden behind 8,000 resources. Tomicron with a sweet move. Organum doesn't find the engagement he needs, and Tomicron is now in the lead. Now Organum actually mines more, but Tomicron is now actually ahead in army in this moment. So Tomicron says, let's see if I can attack more, sends the army forward, but also Organum with a backstab move! Organum, the backstabber! Very fast unit, scrambling in Tomicron natural base, killing tanks, killing factories, and Tomicron says, alright, base trade situation, ladies and gentlemen. Tomicron running to the 6th base of the Zerg and killing it instantly. Let's see who can kill the opponent first. Organum menacing the 3rd base of the Terran, killing factories over here. The Terran also marching forward a huge army to kill the economy of the Zerg. The Zerg relocating some spores, losing the base, but also, yeah, actually a bit indecisive, the Zerg. Oh, now it marches forward. The Zerg army marches to the natural base and to the main base, but also Tomicron is in the main base. Organum is in the main base as well. Tomicron is trying to produce something to defend, to hold the wall, but the wall cannot be held. And the Mamas are killing the tanks from the sky while Tomicron is killing as well stuff in the natural base. Organum killing also the 3rd base and dealing significant blows to the production of the opponent, because all the production of Tomicron is over here. Tomicron is actually supply blocked in this moment. The base of Organum goes down, Tomicron going into the main, hope to find some tech, but won't find a lot. Organum rebuilding the lair in another side base, rebuilding the spawning pool. So Organum very quickly rebuilding his tech, very efficient move, and finding a lot of damage. Tomicron must fly away with his production, with some of his production at least. 4 factories flying away, chased by the Corruptors. The Corruptors receiving damage from the turrets. Can Tomicron save the production? In the meanwhile, the main base of the Zerg is being ravaged by Tomicron's army. In this moment, 62 workers for the Zerg, 51 for the Terran. Tomicron still mining from some bases and building a lot more bases to mine from in the future. Lord Tomicron had to rebuild in this place and to settle the production in this place, but Organum will not, maybe has something to say about that. Zerglings chasing down workers. Now, every worker counts in this situation. A Corruptor shelling away at flying buildings. New fresh base for Tomicron, and that army of Tomicron trying to ravage the other mining bases for Organum. It's a race. Who clears the opponent's bases first wins. 3-3 opponents for 3 upgrades for Tomicron units, 0-1 upgrades for the Zerg player. Now, very difficult to land or to establish production here, because Organum is here with his whole army actually. Organum is killing the production of the Terran, which is a problem because Organum still has production, cannot build this base, Tomicron arrived first, and the drone from Organum couldn't build the expansion. Finding another base, the Zerg player still with 41 workers, trying to desperately rally workers to the closest mining base. The layer, the range upgrades for the Hydras going. Meanwhile, also the Zerglings killing important buildings for Lord Tomicron, which didn't land the production yet. Production still flying. No production for Lord Tomicron, actually, even if the bank is there. Organum scrambling with the drones. So the drones are not mining in this moment, and yeah, bit indecisive Organum now tries to attack with this many Ravager will for sure destroy the planetary fortress, and also Tomicron has to run away with workers. Organum running away as well. Well, who is mining now? Well, Organum will be mining maybe from this base. Tomicron is still mining for the 4th base. Trading the base, Organum with his huge army, and Tomicron now securing finally this base, so maybe Tomicron can now land some production and start overproducing from this angle over here. Some drones, this base on Tomicron will fall. Very, very clown fiesta game. Organum trying to mine with his remaining workers, only 35 against, well, 39 from the Zerg. Indeed, Organum will try to mine from this location. Organum finding more damage, more bases falling down, but finally Tomicron comes back to save the last mining base. Can Tomicron save his mine? The SCV is trying to scramble to repair. Tanks sieging up to defend. Ravagers bailing down what they can. Tomicron sieging up into angles. Indecisive brood Taurs. Engagement! Organum with the Ravagers. Tomicron with the Taurs. Engagement, no bias from the Ravagers. The whole army clashes against each other. And the Zerg actually takes a pretty bad fight. Tomicron pretty much ahead, doubling the RB supply of the opponent. Going to destroy, and GG is called. GG, I had fun! And Organum, the elegant and noble backstabber that he is, the very kind assassin, says, I had fun. So fantastic move from this player in this very much toxic community of Starcraft 2. We have a nice guy. So if you want to applaud Organum for its sportsmanship, leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and to smile. Have a fantastic day. Praise to Organum for your sportsmanship. Hope to play Organum again later, and have a wonderful time. Adios.